I come into the other room, I say, what are you doing? What's going on? And in that moment, I hit a trigger. I didn't know it, but I did.
Well, well, welcome to our kitchen, right here in our home, hun, with our kitchen couples. We've got Mike and Diane and Dan and Danielle.
Yeah.
And this is kind of a hot topic, isn't it?
It is, because, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but we have triggers. We have triggers in our marriage, and I think everybody does. And the point is, how do you get through them? Because they can set off a really intense conversation, can't they? What do you think?
I don't think it's just you and us that have triggers. I feel like the whole world has triggers. Everybody's being triggered. It's like this buzz term, this word that, I'm so triggered. And I just think ultimately when we say we're triggered, it actually means we have something unhealed in us that needs tending to. And so we have to, and I'm like, what healthy habits do we put in place? First of all, asking ourselves what does need to be healed. And then as they were talking about, it's not in the moment, it's putting a plan in place. And I actually remember talking another season about fighting rules. Like, what are our boundaries when we do get heated, when there is that emotional moment and our brain is, going crazy and overriding our common sense. We have to kind of put those things in place. And I love that he said, made me feel so good, that people that have bad marriages don't have bad hearts, they have bad habits. And the good news is we can train ourselves to have better habits. And that's why God says in his word, to not be conformed to the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of our mind. We train ourselves. Yeah.
It's kind of like the military saying, or someone who's been in law enforcement or whatever. They would say, "Remember your training," right? Because when that crisis moment happens, it's not, you don't have time to analyze what you're going to do. It's supposed to be like reflex. Right. And that's really what we're doing right now. Is we're like, this is a training moment to realize, okay, what do I need to do when I feel? Because when that trigger happens, you're not thinking. Like they're saying, the amygdala kicks in. You're not dealing with your frontal lobe. You're not thinking logically. You're in the fight or flight mode. And in that moment, you gotta, remember your training. And I know, and I've heard about this in terms of conflict before, that when you're in a conflict and if it gets really heated and emotional, the emotions are running high, it's the exact same thing. You're not thinking logically, you're in the amygdala, you're in the different part of your brain, and you're not thinking logically, and so you need to cool it off to bring it down. Because he mentioned the number 8 seconds several times. It's like, okay, getting that training in place, that thought process to bite your tongue for 8 seconds.
Which actually can feel like a long time.
Right, because think about that. In 8 seconds, you can do a lot of damage.
To your tongue, probably.
Yes, biting it. Depends how hard you bite it, within
reason. Better than the damage done to each other.
You can do a lot of damage in your marriage, right? James says that the tongue is a fire. So you can burn your house down, you can burn your marriage down in that 8 seconds. But also Proverbs 25:11 says a word fitly spoken is like apples of gold in a setting of silver. So that 8 seconds where we allow, to switch from amygdala to something a little bit more constructive, we have the opportunity to switch from burning our house down to apples of gold in a setting of silver. So, 8 seconds, we can change everything with that 8 seconds. But we have to decide ahead of time.
James 1:19 and 20, God tells us, quick to hear, slow to speak, slow to anger. Yes, the anger of man does not produce the righteousness of God. And that's what we have to keep telling ourselves, slow to speak. Because sometimes we're just so quick to blurt it out, and it's not the right or the nicest thing to do, right? It isn't righteous. So we have to remember, God tells us to be slow to speak, slow to speak, slow to speak, slow to speak.
8 seconds.
Slow to anger, slow to anger. Don't get so angry so quickly. Don't go there. Don't allow yourself to go there.
It deserves repeating. Quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to anger. Oh my goodness! Yes. So you have such a passion for getting it right and doing things right. And I think that passion can turn into something else, something different sometimes. And it's really hard to sort of communicate, how important it is, right? What is the cost, right? When you look at what is the cost of this 8 seconds, right?
Yes.
And that 8 seconds can be really, really expensive. And so, yeah, we just want to implore people just to, to understand that I love this woman. Yes. Yeah. And there's nothing I would desire to do, right? To put her in a bad way. Even if something has just happened, right? Because stuff happens in life. That's life, right? And so if we can just really kind of work on this idea of being intentional about what we say and make sure that our words are healing words, right? Yeah.
Even in the moment when we're triggered, because
Especially
in that moment. I mean, we've been married 40 years. Okay, we just had our 40th wedding anniversary last summer, and even then, we still have triggers. We still have those things that set you off.
By the way, the metaphor kind of the trigger, what comes to my mind is a gun, right?
Oh, yeah.
You pull a gun, and then as soon as that spark, and the Bible talks about our tongues are like a spark of fire that can cause a lot of damage. But that trigger, the spark on the gunpowder, all of a sudden can blow up and do a lot of damage.
Yeah.
But we need to resist that, as we say, as they were saying on that teaching segment.
Absolutely, and it doesn't matter. Like I was
But it still
starting to-
happens.
It still happens.
Yeah.
In fact, as we were preparing for this a couple of weeks ago, we had a trigger moment, where we had been watching a video together, and I was putting laundry away while watching the video with him. I was in and out of the room. He was in the room watching it. And while I was putting some laundry away in the towels, I heard all of a sudden this loud video start. Like that wasn't what we were watching. And I come into the other room, I say, what are you doing? What's going on? And in that moment, I hit a trigger. I didn't know it, but I did.
Well, I reacted right away, and I was really upset. And I'm trying to figure out why.
So, but you had started a video on your phone.
Right,
Because someone had
right.
sent him a video, say, check this out, because I'm not sure if it's legitimate or good. And so he thought, okay, I've got to check. So he started the video while we were watching this, and so it was really loud.
So I kind of lashed out back at her in defensiveness, and I thought, I tried to kind of analyze that. Why did I do that? And then after settled down, I think it was because what triggered me was feeling disrespected. Like she was talking down to me like a little kid.
Right.
And then all of a sudden I lashed back, and before the frontal lobe came into play.
Those 8 seconds didn't happen.
And it was like I was interpreting Anne's motives for what I thought she meant by that tone or whatever. But it was my interpretation of it,
as being attacking
which
him.
wasn't the best interpretation because she wasn't thinking that way.
No, because I was just listening to the video, and then all of a sudden I heard this loud music, and I said, what are you doing?
But it turned into probably a 15 or 20 minute conversation.
And we really
were
unpacked
dissecting it.
triggers.
What
We thought,
happened?
okay, something happened here that we need to understand.
Yeah.
And so when those triggers happen, it can be a good thing, because it can help you then understand each other on a deeper level. It's like, okay, like it was an eye opener for Ron. Say, okay, I didn't realize I could be easily triggered like that. And for me to say, okay, you know what? Even when I'm a little frustrated, watch my tone.
Yeah,
So-
everything leads back to that tone,
Exactly.
attitude, and
Yeah.
heart, and wanting to be heard.
Yeah.
It was interesting. I saw a video recently. A girl was talking about this idea, and her suggestion was that we pause and ask each other, what did you hear me say? So her example was she was doing one of those things where she acts out both parts, right? And so she's interacting with the other character of her husband. Did you take out the garbage? And he lashes out because he's assuming, he's reading into it. Oh, yes, no, I haven't taken out the garbage. You're on me about the garbage or whatever. And she's like, wait a second, what did you hear me say? Well, I thought you're, talking down to me because I didn't take out the garbage. She's like, no, I wanted to put the baby's diaper in the garbage, and I wanted to know if this was one who'd been taken out recently, differently or if I should put it outside. So it had nothing to do with that,
Yeah,
right? But we're
exactly.
misinterpreting in that moment, and we're triggered by what we read into it.
Yeah.
That's not even said.
That could be unhealed from the past too, and
Right, the unhealed thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I thought that was a really cool clarification to actually pause in a conversation. It's like, wait a second, what did you hear me say? Like, what did you think I meant by that? Because it
That
might.
is so good.
Yeah, I
Enemy
thought it was
loves
really
to
good.
use
Yeah.
misunderstanding in our marriages. If he can get us anyway, even if it's not an actual conflict, he'll still use a way that we think is conflict when it
Exactly.
isn't.
That's true.
Exactly. So the bottom line is just like you said, approach each other with good hearts, with open hearts,
Yes.
and not with intention of attack or defense, being defensive, but just open and say, okay, we need to talk about this because something's going on here, and both be open and honest and healing.
That's good.
That's it.
And with
Good
God's
stuff.
help, you know, we have Him in our life, and His Holy Spirit can also can counteract some of those triggers sometimes, right? Right in the moment, and is that check in our spirit to say, okay, no, I'm not going to go there. Use that 8 seconds that they talked about, maybe by setting up that prayer and say, God, what should I do here? But yeah, excellent.
It's been good. It's been good.
Yeah.
Well, don't you go anywhere because there is more Better Us to come.
Hey friends, we really hope you're enjoying the marriage conversations here on our Better Us YouTube channel.
We have hundreds of more helpful marriage videos designed to give you hope and tools to make your marriage even better.
Right. And you can see just a few options we think you might like here and here. So keep exploring.
Oh, and make sure you subscribe by clicking here so you don't miss out on all the great marriage help we have coming your way all the time.